people, I feel like, have this resistance to, oh, I didn't have a bad childhood, so I can't possibly have trauma. And you're like, when you're 3, like your sister can have cake for breakfast. But what you didn't see is that she spent all night talking with your dad, and they just had a really heartfelt conversation, and they were having cake together, like after a breakup. And all you see is she got cake for breakfast. Bam, you're less than your sister. Whatever it is, a decision is made. It doesn't have to involve anything conscious. As we go 0 to 7 and we develop, that's when our emotional blueprint is set. So we are being run by a 0 to 7-year-old.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Yeah.
Well, today I am joined by the beautiful, gorgeous, effervescent Samantha Belle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, well, I had the pleasure of having a one-on-one session with you a couple of weeks ago, and it was really, really supportive and really, really helpful. But before we dive into everything that you are, my personal belief is that self-love is the devotion to your individuality. What makes you you? So I'd really love to know, who are you? What makes you you? What gets you up in the morning? What are you passionate about? All the things.
So I am Samantha Belle. I am super passionate about expression and individuality and self-love coming from a place of acceptance. I have been into personal development and growth. And in my hierarchy of values, the first one is personal development and growth and learning. And I've always loved school. Summer break was always too long for me because that's where all my friends were. And I always did well in school. And so it was something that I was just always really excited about. And then my second one is performance and relationships.
On the road to self-love, I feel like a lot of the conversations revolve around, evolution and giving ourselves permission to evolve. And even more so, just like giving ourselves permission just to be and belong within who we are at this very, very moment. So I'd love to know, what got you to this space? Give us a little origin story.
Starting at the beginning, I like to say that I exited stage right out of the womb. I was like, bye-bye. So I've been a performer my entire life. I started dancing when I was 3, and I have always been, I like to say I'm a variety pack kind of gal. I think I just am a variety pack. And I like to think of myself as like a kaleidoscope, right? Everyone that looks in, it's different, but it's all crazy shapes and colors no matter what. So I started dancing when I was 3. I started doing sports when I was 5, played softball, was quite good. And I played year round. And my mom was my biggest cheerleader. She was at every game, every recital. I'm changing in the back seat from my tutu into my cleats. And that was my thing. I've always kind of been good at a lot of things that I try.
You spoke about how your parents divorced and you didn't know that was a quote unquote bad thing or failed thing until it was shared with you in school. So I'm curious, what kind of insight has that given to you into relationship, if any?
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I actually remember very specific moments of deciding upon an insecurity even. My mom and I are very close. We're very, very close. And it wasn't, again, until maybe high school or college that I realized people didn't like their moms. That's a really big piece of tension in people's relationships, is them with their mom. And I just thought that was always so interesting because I've always been very close with my mom. And so, but yes, realizing that social construct of divorce and in hearing people talk about it and complaining about it and oh, well, my parents are divorced, as if that is a loaded statement that explains all of this, either behavior or the fact that they can't do something, almost like it's a limiting decision within itself.
Okay, I know that you're blowing so many minds, mine included. So what are some tangible ways that we can start witnessing and then removing the self-sabotage from our lives?
Yes, I love tangible things. I think as this is beginning to become aware, right? As I'm saying things, people are going, oh my gosh, I definitely sacrificed something at one point for somebody, or, my people pleasing came from the fact that it started out good and then came from because maybe I was going between house to house, my real praise got when I was doing something, because that's when everyone came together and saw me perform or something. And so for me, that connection, which of course is in my hierarchy of values, that connection happened when I was performing, which just scheduling wise happened to be the thing. But I started to link connection and value with my performance. People, I feel like, have this resistance to, oh, I didn't have a bad childhood, so I can't possibly have trauma. And you're like, when you're 3, like your sister can have cake for breakfast, but what you didn't see is that she spent all night talking with your dad, and they just had a really heartfelt conversation, and they were having cake together, like after a breakup, and all you see is she got cake for breakfast. Bam, you're less than your sister. Whatever it is, a decision is made. It doesn't have to involve anything conscious. So anyway, as we go 0 to 7 and we develop, that's when our emotional blueprint is set. So we are being run by a 0 to 7-year-old for the rest of everything. That's when our consciousness comes in and it starts to defend what has been created from 0 to 7.
Everything you're saying is just so resonant with me. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm kind of being selfish, but I would really, really love to know, do you have a specific journaling prompt that you can offer?
For me, because I do it a lot to get clarity, a lot of times it's just starting the writing, because I find that for me, right, I want a journal prompt. And when I don't have one, I'll be like, well, then there's nothing to journal on, which then I spiral, right? Or I used to spiral into, oh, you can't even pick a journal prompt, right? And so now what I'll do is I'll just start writing, and I will reference myself a lot in third person. So I can be like, hey, I'm here. Like, hey, I'm ready for any downloads. Like, and I'll literally write, or I'll start writing the questions that I'm having internally.
So I've got a question that is coming from my self-love, We're Not Really Strangers box pack. I have all of them. I really need to make my own card game, but that's for another day. No shame, because I'm not there yet. So this question, and we're both going to answer this, is what am I proudest of myself for recently, even if no one else has let me know?
I am most proud of the visceral changes that I've been able to notice, because with the subconscious work that I do, my inner thoughts change, my reactions to things change, my response to things change. Like, I am not only showing up differently, but when people are throwing things that used to trigger me or used to put me into a pattern, I am now at a place that I recognize that.
I love that so much. So we've got a couple of more questions, one of which is our final road trip game that I play with every single person, because self-love is uncensored. We are going to be playing Fuck, Marry, Kill, but not with people, places, and things. We're going to be playing it with emotions or concepts or whatnot, okay? Because we do not need a PR scandal here on the road to self-love. So, Samantha, this question is for you and you alone. You are not allowed to turn it back on me. Fuck, marry, kill. And if this is your first time listening to the show and you don't have any idea what fuck, marry, kill is, Samantha's going to choose one thing that she would make passionate love to, one thing that she would spend the rest of her life with, and there is no divorce on fuck, marry, kill, and one thing that she would put into the ground. So, because I like to make it really, really challenging, fuck, marry, kill, NLP, timeline therapy, or hypnosis.
Okay. Those ones did come up to me really quick. So I'm definitely marrying. Okay, I'm putting hypno down. I'm killing hypno, because while I love it, both NLP and time technique can do very similar things in different ways. So they're all different tools. But yeah, okay, I'm killing hypno. That's it. Oh no. And I am going to, I think I want to marry time. And I think I might have some fun with NLP. Is that my final answer? Because NLP has so many different techniques, but I have had the most life-changing everything through time. So yep, that's what I'm going with. I'm marrying time. I'm keeping it by my side. We're having some fun NLP. Yes, downloads, if you know what I mean. And then hypno's out.
I'm just so grateful for like everything you've shared, and really that process of witnessing where the trauma or where the self-inflicted trauma happened, and what you can do about it. Because you, by like even just sharing your story of where you were and where you are now, it's very, very clear the steps that you took. And I think that those steps are easier said than done, but it feels as though they are easily reverse engineered with a little bit of introspection, maybe some support and whatnot. So I'd love to know, because, you know, this is your wheelhouse of genius. If people are just like, oh yes, I want to live the life just like Sam does, like, how do you love showing up and serving people, and how can people work with you?
Thanks. I think, and thank you for allowing me the space to do what I just love to do, which is talk about all this stuff. And my goal is to, if I can have one aha moment from an interaction, or, you know, when I'm coaching and when I'm doing things, that I just want one little to pop up and I'm happy. Good. I've done my job, mic drop. And so I realized that the 0 to 7 came about because we were talking about when you realize the belief, when you come up against self-sabotage and you identify it, and allowing the identification to be on the bus, because anything could have happened between 0 and 7. Whew. So where you can find me, I am at It's Samantha Belle on Instagram, and I am most active there. I really like Instagram. I do have a membership. That's a group membership that we meet on Discord, and we do a lot of videos and we do a lot of healing, and do challenges, and it's just a lot of fun. And then I do have a one-on-one program that is obviously very, very exclusive, very personalized. We go super, super deep. And but Instagram socially, and for the momentary free things, warning, I will be singing, I will be dancing. What do I got to do? I just want you to look at me. You will get the kaleidoscope variety pack of me on my stories. I'll have a meme about auditioning, and then immediately after will be this really in-depth intrinsic thought. So if you're a variety pack kind of kaleidoscope too, or like that energy, then It's Samantha Belle on Instagram is where to start, I would say.
It's just been such a joy and a pleasure. Do you have any like final words that you feel called to share with the community of self-lovers?
You are enough. What you're feeling is valid. It is okay to not be okay. You don't have to be a bad person to be the wrong person. It doesn't have to be a bad situation or time in your life for you to have outgrown it, and for it to have outgrown its purpose with you. And I love you.
Well, we just had like 7 beautiful bumper stickers that just like can land on a car. That I love that one. Oh my goodness, that they don't have to be a bad person for it to be the wrong person, or something like that. That was yes. Ooh, that hit me where it hurts, baby. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Make sure to go follow Samantha Belle on Instagram at It's Samantha Belle, and we will see you next time on the road to self-love. Bye.